Hello, friends. Welcome back to Gecko's Gaming. Today we're going to be going over a deck tech and some ranked gameplay with Mono Black Midrange in Timeless. Timeless is awesome right now. It just got lots of new cards, really shook up the format in a huge way. Plus, it's just probably one of the most fun formats in Magic. You get to play so many all-time classic cards. I mean, even this deck, we have Dark Ritual in it. We have, Ancient Tomb, Strip Mine. Just who doesn't love this? Um, so I love the format, and there's lots of new cards. And just over the last month or two, there's been tons of new additions added. We have Ren and Six now. We have Ancient Tomb, Strip Mine. Chrome Mox is a new addition since I last played. Also, that's been around for a little bit longer than some of the new ones, but they dumped a whole bunch of new cards on us, and it totally transformed the format, and it's really fun right now. It's wide open. You can do a lot of different things. There's lots of strategies. There's still a lot of things to figure out in terms of what are the best decks and what's the best way to build those decks. And what's really cool is that Timeless is really, they're continuing the trend of Timeless having its own format identity. It's not just a rehash of Legacy or a rehash of Vintage. There's unique aspects to Timeless, and it's kind of cool. I mean, in one way, Wizards doesn't give it a lot of attention, but in another way, it's kind of cool because they don't really ban anything, and they really just let it ride, let it rip. So one example of that is that we have 4 strip mines, which there's never been a format in Magic since its inception where you could play 4 strip mines legally. And even the only format that it's really legal in is Vintage, or maybe Old School if you consider that a format. But in those formats, you can only play 1. So it is just really cool that we get to try out playing 4, and it results in a pretty wild format. But anyways, I'm really looking forward to playing some more Timeless, getting back into it. This shakeup really made things exciting. All these new cards made things exciting. Plus, there's an Arena Championship coming up, so we can expect a lot of new innovations and a lot of new eyes on the format, and so that'll be really exciting too. Now let's talk about this deck. I just want to start off with the central themes. So first of all, we have fast mana. We have, what do we have for fast mana? We have 4 Ancient Tombs, 4 Chrome Mox, and 4 Dark Ritual. So the mana base is kind of interesting because we are building it around pitch cards. So we have 4 Griefs, 4 Chrome Mox, and so for that reason, I'm not playing fetch lands because I'd rather have those cards be pitchable. So Bogart Trawler, Fel the Profane, Troll of Kaza Doom is kind of our only quasi fetch, but it's also a pitchable card. And the set doesn't gain that much from fetch land since it's a monocolor, and it doesn't really have like shuffling or brainstorm type things that it benefits from. So we really want to go all in on minimizing land count and then maximizing black sources that can turn into lands, and then fast mana, so we can get out really fast. We can disrupt the opponent early on, or we can throw our threats out really fast. Like turn 1 Ring or turn 1 Shield Dread plus Thoughtseize. These are the types of things this deck can actually do. And so that's very interesting. Then, of course, we have Urborg to turn the Strip Mine into and Ancient Tombs into swamps. And we get more utility out of our lands too. Like our lands can be a creature that exiles the opponent's graveyard, or it can destroy any creature or planeswalker. Getting up to 4 is not hard, so Fel the Profane is actually pretty reasonable in this list. There are some decks that are playing Deathrite Shaman and trying to do fetches and stuff. I don't think that's really worth it. You really have to strain the mana base to play fetches, and the more fetches that you play, the less space that you have for Trawlers and Fel the Profanes and Trolls. So that strains your pitch cards like Chrome Mox and Grief. And so I've just eliminated the fetches altogether. And if you don't have fetches, Deathrite Shaman is not good either. It just can't ramp consistently. And we have better ways to interact with the graveyard. Like, I think Bogart Trawler is perfectly fine in terms of having a much higher floor, giving flexibility to the deck with being a land drop that can tap for black. And then we also have Voidwalkers in the main, which I'll get to momentarily. But so this is our mana base. We have 13 lands, so we're definitely getting greedy. We're cheating on lands, but if you count all the sources together, we actually have um, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 21, 23, 25, like 28-ish almost mana sources potentially. So that's the mana base. Let's get into some of the disruption. So a central theme of the deck is just disrupting the opponent's game plan, and we can do that with Grief, Thoughtseize, Strip Mine, and then we have these removal spells. 4 removal spells in the main, and they're pretty catch-all removal. Between Edict and Fellow Profane, you have most of your bases covered. You can remove huge fatties, you can remove planeswalkers, you can remove hexproof creatures. There's a lot of options and power with the removal there. And then we also have Bogart Trawler, connects to their graveyard, of course. And then Voidwalker can totally turn off graveyard stuff. Because whenever a card goes in the graveyard from anywhere, it's exiled instead, which is pretty nice, especially with that's one of the reasons I have the maximum discard. I have 4 Thoughtseize, 4 Grief, because they just play really well with the Voidwalker to put things into the void. And there's times where you can get a Show and Tell deck or a Sorin deck where you discard one of their cards and then you can sack your Voidwalker to cast their Elendra or their Atraxa or something ridiculous like that. So that's pretty sweet. A big part of the deck is just focused on trading off cards, figuring out what axis we need to push on to find the opponent's weakness in terms of disruption, and then just hammering on that. And then at that point, symmetrically trading cards, discarding all their key stuff, and then trying to end up with just a strong threat on the board. And of course, we do have the Grief Reanimate combo going on. So there's a lot of disruption here, a lot of different ways to attack the opponent's game plan. And then the next thing that we're trying to do is present a threat. So we'll get the threats out next. Let's put these back here real quick. We'll keep that there. This is so for threats we have basically Dauthi, Shield Dread, Ring, Grief, kinda. I'm not going to count Bogart Trawler as a threat. I don't think that's fair. But you can see we do have a high density of threats too, and Reanimate can be, especially if you can discard the opponent's stuff. Reanimate works on their graveyard also, so that's very strong. So you see a lot of you're starting to notice probably a lot of the cards in the deck play multiple roles, and there is a great deal of flexibility, and there's a lot of strategy that goes into choosing what to pitch when and which threats to try to focus on, and how to best disrupt the opponent. So you can see, look at all these different potential threats that we have. Again, I'm not going to count Trawler there, but a lot of the cards do double duty. And so let's kind of go through each of these threats and talk about where they're good and where you might not want them. Bowmasters is excellent against lots of decks. I mean, the fact that it's good against the blue decks, the Brainstorm, Ponder decks. It's good against Show and Tell as an instant speed threat that also disrupts their ability to dig for their combo, Brainstorm, Ponder. It's good against blue decks in general. It's also good against other One Ring decks because you need to. It's really good in the mirror because it kills their Bowmasters and then it also punishes their One Ring. Life total matters quite a bit in the mirror matches. And it's just an all-around good threat. One of the biggest draws to this is it's easy to cast. It costs only 2 mana. It only costs 1 black, so you can cast it off of a Strip Mine, or if you have Ancient Tomb out. So it really is kind of the bread and butter of the deck. It's very solid. Voidwalker, as we talked about, can be very strong against against things that are trying to put cheap big creatures into play or cheap big spells into play. Because once they start discarding cards and you can make them discard a card, then you can sacrifice Dauthi to put whatever is exiled with it right onto the battlefield. And then other than that, it serves as a ley line of the void while it's out. Just nothing can go into their graveyard. Even that alone is enough to disrupt a lot of decks in the format. It's evasive, does 3 damage each turn. that can put them on a reasonable clock. You'd be surprised how fast this card can actually kill in this format, especially when you're putting them off balance and you maybe combine it with another threat like a Grief or something like that. And one of the interesting things that you can do is you can, if you have like a Dark Ritual or something, you can you can Dark Ritual, put Voidwalker out, and then Thoughtseize in the same turn, and then take their big fatty or something like that, and then put it into play the next turn. It's usually GG if you do that against Show and Tell or something like that. So Voidwalker is a strong threat. It is limited by the double black. Sometimes that comes up. Sometimes it's hard to cast. It's one of the reasons I only have 2. It's also situational. It's not good if you're on defense against an aggressive deck or something like that. But then we have Barrogoyf, which is Barrogoyf. It like reads better than it actually is in practice, but it's an effective threat. It can gain its life, which is important. It trades, which is important. It can get its card advantage, so it can kind of do everything on its own that it needs to do to take over a game. It's one of the reasons it's in here. It's just a singularly powerful threat, and it enables itself if it can get in for damage. But I don't play more than 2 right now because we don't have fetch lands, so we're not feeding it that fast. And then B, it just sometimes just doesn't do that much. It dies to removal. I don't know. Yeah, it's just kind of, it's totally fine for what it is, but I like having a variety of threats for different matchups. Barrogoyf is good against decks where you need to gain life, and it's just a fine kind of boots on the ground threat in mirror matches and things like that. I like it against the red stompy decks. Where do I take it out sometimes against combo decks? It's a little slow as a threat. It doesn't kill that fast, and that's why one of the reasons I have Slasher in here. Slasher kills faster than Barrogoyf usually, and then it's also good in mid-range mirrors. As long as they're not playing white removal, you're pretty good with this. If they're playing red or black removal, it's good in those kind of matchups because it keeps coming back. I keep it in for Show and Tell and for combo decks too because it puts a fast clock on them. So that's why Slasher's in here. Kind of have a split of Barrogoyf Slasher. Slasher is faster, but Barrogoyf gains life, and Barrogoyf has a bigger butt usually, so it's resilient to Chain Lightning and things like that. It's good to have to try to. A lot of times I'm trying to craft the perfect hand, early on. In like when you have an opening hand, you're going to have some combination of these threats. So I like to having a good mix, and then post board I can dial in which ones are best against the opponent. And then Grief is, obviously Grief Reanimate. It's really strong. You can actually hardcast it quite frequently here because of the fast mana and the mana acceleration. And then sort of the main, most potent threats are Shield Dread and One Ring. So powering out a Shield Dread is very strong. I seldom board this out, even against Show and Tell or things like that, where it's a little slow. It still is one of the better threats that we have. We just want a critical mass of threats there, and so I keep it in for that matchup, even though I do cut One Ring there. And then obviously Shield Dread plus One Ring is a big combo. Ideally, you want to get your One Ring down first, then play Shield Dread the next turn, and then tap for 2, and then you're drawing, and you're gaining 4. You're drawing 2 cards, gaining 4. Shield Dread is also very punishing in the mirrors. It's just one of the strong. If you're ever in a One Ring mirror against the red decks or against other black decks, a lot of times the games really revolve around who can stick a Shield Dread for the longest. So yeah, just an insanely powerful card. One of the essential features of the deck. And then, of course, One Ring is our card advantage engine, and the protection is huge. You keep this in against anything except for fast combo decks. I board it out against Show and Tell, and I board it out against the Sorin slot machine type decks. But in basically every other instance, you are keeping this in. It's good against mid-range, it's good against aggro. It's your primary source of grinding and card advantage and just burying the opponent that way. And then we have the old Troll, of course. Troll is never really... It's not the most exciting threat, but you can reanimate it on turn 1 or turn 2, and it helps smooth out our mana, and it can help feed a Barrogoyf, get a creature in the graveyard. it does a lot of little things for the deck. It's obviously good to pitch to Chrome Mox, but sometimes, basically if you're not against a white deck that has exile removal and that kind of a thing, if you're up against a deck that has black removal or even red removal, it's really strong. It's hard to take out. Fatal Push can't touch it. So I will use it as one of my premier threats if I'm up against like a blue-black tempo and they're not playing white for Swords of Plowshares, or it's good against, it's a fine clock against combo decks and stuff like that too. So yeah, that's the main board. And then you might have noticed I don't have any Fatal Pushes in the main. I just feel like I'm not seeing a ton of energy decks, and I mean, I'm not that concerned about them anyways. I feel like we have a good matchup against energy. So that's why I have the pushes in the sideboard right now. You can play them in the main. There's nothing really wrong with that. Just depends on it. It's kind of a meta call. I like having my low removal count, but having very potent removal right for game one. But yeah, you have four Fatal Push. Bring these in against the tempo decks with like Tameo and Psychic Frog. I also bring them in against some mirrors. Like I said, a lot of people play Deathrite Shaman in the mirror, so you can hit that. It's pretty important to hit Bowmasters too when it comes down. So I'll have a couple of these in for the mirrors, but they're primarily in there for Mardu and for energy decks. Same thing with Deluge and Meathook Massacre. Deluge is really strong. It takes out like big creatures, and it's not really limited by mana in the same way that Meathook Massacre is, but I still like having one Meathook Massacre because your life total can matter, and it's good. It also can counter a Goblin Bombardment, so that's kind of nice. Surgical Extraction, I have a 1 of here. I usually bring this in Reanimate mirrors or against combo decks if I can, like, the idea against combo is I try to discard your Sauron or try to discard your Show and Tell and then surgical it. Feed the Swarm is for combo decks primarily to take out Leyline of Sanctity, but it also has other applications against certain creature decks. Disruptor Flute is for combo, obviously. It's great against Show and Tell. You have to be careful. I mean, it's not as good as it used to be against Show and Tell now that they have Chrome Mox and Ancient Tomb. They can really get up to casting Show and Tell a lot faster than they used to, but it's still good there. Filigree Silex is for just kind of random artifacts or things like that. Tokens decks, artifacts. It's mostly in here, I guess, for like affinity. I don't see the deck very often. To be honest, I don't think I've boarded this in yet, but it's there in case you need to deal with some weird permanents, lots of weird permanents that are low cost or something. I could see this being cut. It hasn't had a lot of application so far in my experience, but I still have it in there just in case. Opposition Agent is great against blue decks and fetch land decks and combo decks that tutor, so this is good against Show and Tell to just turn off their tutoring. And yeah, that's the deck. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions about it, comments, anything like that. If you have a deck that you've built differently and you have some feedback about how to build the deck, I'd love to hear it. And yeah, that's so let's go ahead and jump into some games. All right, here we go. First match. Opponent won the die roll. Being on the draw on Timeless is always dangerous. These games can be over really fast. Alright, this is a keepable hand. I might see what the opponent does first to see what I want to play out, but a turn 1 Shield Dread plus Thoughtseize is possible. No. It's not quite. I would exile a black card with Chrome Mox. That'd be 1. I use it to get 3, and then I have... No, yeah, actually, I could do that. We can have 5 mana on turn 1. So turn 1 Thoughtseize Shield Dread seems good. Probably exile Barrowglyph. We'll see. If they show me a color that looks like they could have damage-based removal or destruction-based removal, in which case having the Reanimate around to bring back Shield Dread would be good. There's a lot of nuance to this decision in terms of what to pitch to Chrome Mox and what to cast first, depending on what they do. You know, what I'm going to do for sure is Chrome Mox Dark Ritual, Thoughtseize. And then, like, if they're show and tell or something like that, it might be reasonable to keep reanimate, but I wouldn't know that until after I Dark Ritual, so we'll see. Because one thing you can do against show and tell is like Thoughtseize their attacks to it and reanimate it. That's usually GG. But we'll see here. We'll see. Blue-white. So this could be show and tell. Could be some kind of a... Oh, okay. So we have probably blue-white blink of some sort. Okay, Bulgar Trawler is nice. That's a really nice thing to exile. So I will exile that. Or do I want to keep it for a land drop in case our initial plan burns out? Ah, that is close. That is close. I think since they're white-blue, reanimate probably isn't good because I'm sure they're packing a bunch of exile-based removal spells. I wouldn't be surprised if they have the white pitch card right now. All right, here we go. We're gonna Dark Ritual, and we're gonna Thoughtseize them. They do have Source of Plowshares. Starfield Shepherd's kind of good too. But if I take the Source of Plowshares, that's probably my best bet here. That way we can safely resolve Shield Dread. So yeah, this is the blue-white blink deck. They play the Guide of Souls Ocelot Pride package, but then they also have an Ephemerate package. Starfield Shepherd can get either Guide of Souls or Ocelot Pride, and then you can Ephemerate it, bring it back into play, get double triggers, and keep a 3/2 flyer. So that's pretty good stuff there. Pretty good. Barrow for Voidwalker. It's an interesting choice. I probably want to go with the Barrow Goyf. I think it just puts them on a faster clock overall. And they're not doing a lot of things that involve the graveyard typically in this deck. No response from the opponent. I just realized we have Frodo and Sam versus Gollum, so kind of on theme here. Yeah, let's go Barrow Goyf. And I'll play the land tapped. That sets us up. That sets us up for double black next turn, and we can go with Voidwalker. Okay, Felia is very good, obviously. I'm kind of surprised that they pitched their Shepherd right away. I probably would have pitched like the Ephemerate or something. I don't know. It's tough to say. I don't play that deck, so that's pretty good. They get to draw 2 cards. The Quantum Riddler. But I get to deal them 4 as a result. They have a Strip Mine. It's a little late for that. They go for the Tomb. Makes my Barrow Goyf bigger. Okay, they're going to exile probably the Riddler again. Okay. So they get to gain more life. Block. You get to gain more life, draw another card, but they also lose 2 more life from the Shield Dread, so they net lose 1 life. But they do get to keep a Riddler. I think I want to keep the Shield Dread around, but I may offer the trade for the Barrowglyph, because if I attack with both, they double block the Shield Dread, and they trade their 2 guys for my Shield Dread, which might be fine. I mean, they're close enough to being dead that might be okay here. Like, I don't want I don't want them to be able to ephemerate something. They have a clear board with no creatures. It maybe isn't the worst to just throw the Shield Dread at him. Yeah, I guess we'll try that. There's like a decent chance they drew a removal spell, so... And Barrowglyph might give me another threat, so let's just throw them both at him. I'm not sure if this is right. It might be right to just attack with Barrowglyph and keep Shield Dread back. Because the Shield Dread is basically set to win the game. Okay. That's, I'm fine with that. They want to keep their Bunsen Riddler. Again, that indicates to me that they likely have a removal spell in hand, otherwise they would have needed to take off the Shield Dread there to even have a chance to play. Nope. They didn't have it already. Yeah, okay, GG. Alright, blue-white blink. Do they play fetches? They probably play a few at least. Starfield Shepherd is a tutor, so maybe I want the opposition agent. I don't know if these decks usually play Leyline. I doubt it. Leyline of Sanctity to give them hexproof. I doubt that they play that. We do want Fatal Pushes. Leyline is usually in more of a combo-focused deck. That's where you want it. I think Deluge is good. I don't think I want Massacre, though, because their guys can get big fast, and I don't... It's a little slower. I think I want Oppo Agent. That's probably about it for cards I want to bring in, potentially. What do we have that's bad here? I like the removal. I think we need the removal. The removal is important. Dauthi Voidwalker doesn't do much. We can cut Dauthi. I like Bullmasters. They're trying to draw cards, and they have Ocelot Pride. Unstoppable Slasher is kind of awkward against their exile removal. Like, it's not great. So I guess that's on the chopping block. I think I want Thoughtseize. This is one of those decks where you want both Fatal Push and Thoughtseize, I think. Which makes it a little tight on space of what to cut. Yeah, I think Slasher is just kind of too slow and too... Like, the threats just aren't that good. Like, all of these guys could go, I think, in some combination. Everything just dies to Source of Plowshares, so... yeah, Slasher, probably cut Slasher. It has very little upside against them. They'll usually have a blocker for it, and it dies to all their removal without any advantage. Their Barrowglyph at least has an opportunity to generate value against them. And then Trawler isn't good. You have to be careful cutting too much of your mana sources. Cut Trawler. Then sure, I'll cut a Mox, I guess, just because I'm running out of time. I probably... Yeah, I cut too many mana sources there. I don't think I've played against the blue-white deck with this mono-black deck yet, so it's a little... I'm trying to learn on the fly here how to sideboard. I didn't have a plan for this coming in. But yeah, that's in the general strategy here. We want to have a lot of disruption. We want to stop their early Ocelot Pride rush. This is okay. Yeah. I guess I can keep this. Like, exile Bowmasters to the Chrome Mox. Or no, we exile Thoughtseize to the Bow. Yeah. It's not a great hand. I probably will exile a Thoughtseize and then do a turn 1 Thoughtseize and then go from there. I don't think I want to blow my Dark Ritual on turn 1 to get a Bowmasters out. I'd rather save that in case I draw a land or one ring or something bigger. But we'll see. This is contextual based on their first play, I think. ETH, go, okay. So I could Grief. I could exile Grief to Grief. I could also exile Thoughtseize to Grief. The one thing for sure that we're doing is Chrome Mox. I'll just go straight for a Thoughtseize and see what they have. I don't want a Dark Ritual right now, so... I have time. If they play a Pride on their turn, I can still get it. Counter target, colorless spell, or triggered ability. Interesting that they didn't want to target the Chrome Mox with that. Yeah, probably taking Riddler. It's their main source of card advantage. I can kind of play around Solitude. I could also just take Ephemerate right away. Let's do that. I don't think I want to deal with Ephemerate. This might actually catch a Solitude also. They might feel the need to Solitude Grief before I reanimate it. I don't have Reanimate, of course, but they don't know that. Are they going for it? Or they could trigger, they could counter the ability with Consign also. They have options. What's funny is their Strip Mine is really bad here because I don't have any lands. Joke's on you. I got no lands anyways. Yeah, I'm guessing they just consign this Grief trigger. We'll see. They're running out of time. Wow, they clicked just in the nick of time there. Okay, they're solituding. Wow. Okay. So I just get everything. Oh no, but they get to consign the solitude, of course. Yeah, in response. That actually works out pretty well for them. Oh. Oops. Didn't they want to consign that? Didn't you want to consign your evoke trigger, or what? I'm not going to ask. Yeah, I still don't have any lands, so we'll wait. I think I'm going to wait for an opportune moment to cast the Bowmasters instead of just playing it out. But it would start pressuring them, but it's so inefficient in terms of mana and stuff. Yeah, I think I still do it here. We have an opportunity to put pressure on them here. I think I want to do it. We'll see what they do in their second main. Yeah, let's go for it. Because if I draw a land either way, then I can cast another one. So that seems good. Nice, there we go. Alright, getting some pressure on them. Just gonna make some quick adjustments to my audio here because I'm realizing there's a possibility of some feedback. I'm not sure if it's happening, but adjusting my audio right now. Okay. Strip mine my swamp. Okay, well, we're gonna swing for 4. And yeah, we'll pass. The Riddler. They're gonna draw a card and take some damage. Yeah, alright, good game. Alright, next round. We're up against rank 7, huh? Should be interesting. Yeah. This works. This works. We have strip mine for their land. So we can really make this a very low resource game by grief, reanimate, and then strip mine following it up. I'm trying to decide if I want to exile the second reanimate or the second dark ritual for grief. I could also just hard cast grief.
I stayed up too late reading. Again.
It's an interesting choice. I think I can definitely exile at least one reanimate. No, I think I'll exile a ritual. Yeah, that seems right. Let's do a ritual. Because against these blue decks, reanimate's pretty good. They have reanimate too. Alright, we'll do this. They probably push my grief, and then I get to reanimate their frog next turn and strip mine their land. That seems fine. Okay, interesting. So I could ring now. Let's go for that instead. Let's just ring them. Still have the reanimate that we can cast. I'm gonna draw on their end step because they seem to be playing a reanimate package. They're likely playing Grief, so, or Thoughtseize or something like that. Actually, we have protection from everything, so I guess it doesn't matter, but just in case, I guess. You know, actually, thinking about it through all the way, I should have just run Wing down my turn and the small chance that I get a Grief that I wanted to cast. I wanted to evoke it. Ponder. Okay. Opponent is pondering. Okay, they didn't shuffle. That's fine. And then they push my Grief here. It's logical. I'm paying a lot of life. So that could be a concern. Take the push. We'll try to reanimate their frog. They can sack their Tameo to counter it if they want to. Either way, we're left in a pretty good spot. We just need to not die to the ring. That's the biggest trick here. Okay, do counter it indeed. Cool. They have a hydroponics. They're cycling the troll. Gonna get a swamp. We got the underground or undercity sewers, so they're gonna get to surveil. We're looking for a shield trade. Okay, we got a barrel glyph. That's good. Barrel glyph might be able to get us out of this mess. I think we just want to cast the barrel glyph and hold the dark ritual in case we need it for mana next turn. Or no, I could just play one of these tapped, so I guess that's fine. Wait, I already played a land, didn't I? Yeah, I guess gotta cast the Barrowglyph and I think that's it. Yeah, because I'm not sure if I should Dark Ritual there and get a Bowmaster's in too. I could definitely see that argument, but I'm trying to leave myself open to casting a Shield Dread next turn without dying. If they ripped a Fatal Push, that's very unfortunate for us. Okay, they didn't. Okay, there's another Dark Ritual.
In the library.
What types do we have? Does it say? No. Alright. Sorcery, creature, land, instant. Sorcery, creature, land, instant. That's all we got. Let's draw 4 cards. Still no Shield Dread, huh? Okay. I guess we will Dark Ritual. No, I'm just gonna go ahead and attack. Got Grief, sure, I'll cast a Grief. We can exile probably Trawler. Well, let's exile this Voidwalker, I don't think I'll need that. Trawler might be useful since they have such a big graveyard already. Okay. So we have 7 mana. It's enough to do 3 Bowmasters. That might be the move. I think I'll just pass and see what they do. The downside of passing here is that, well, A, I have to discard, but that doesn't really matter. But I may have, if they draw Treasure, like exactly Treasure Cruise, then this is bad for us. But I don't think Reanimate does much for them here, even if they draw that. So I was considering trawlering on my turn to get them off of a Treasure Cruise. But actually Treasure Cruise is fine since we have triple Bowmasters. So I'm going to wipe their whole board here. I might as well take out Tameo. I don't think I want to pay any life, so I'm just going to put all these out here like this. Alright, there we go. Alright, good game. Okay, so blue-black scam. Blue-black scam. They're playing hydroponics architects, so we probably... I didn't see a lot of fetch lands, but it's safe to assume that they have some, so opposition agent is reasonable. I think Fatal Push is good. We don't need a lot of... Maybe Surgical. Surgical's not great against them, honestly. Because if they have grief, they can take it before we can even target the grief, so it doesn't do that much at the end of the day. Let's throw these opposition agents in here. I think a Deluge is arguable. Also, you could play Deluge. I could probably cut some amount of Thought Seizes on the draw. All this stuff is pretty good. They don't have white removal, so Unstoppable Slasher is going to be good. Same with Troll. On the draw especially, I want to play to the board. So... Troll is good, but they can reanimate my Troll too, so it's like... not my favorite. I really don't know what the last cut should be. I guess I'll just cut a Trawler. Trawler is like not even bad against him. I just honestly ran out of time and know what to cut. So it's definitely not the best card in the deck, so it's not the worst cut to do. This is fine. It's a pretty flexible hand. We could either reanimate a Troll on turn 1, or we could Barrel Goif on turn 1. Or we could play a more card advantage focused game and hold the Chrome Mox and just maybe try stripping them. Actually, I think I like stripping them here, since they play a blue-black land. Whoa, Dark Ritual is pretty good. Man, we have some options. I feel like the Troll is like probably gonna do a good job because I don't know what they have for removal. I mean, maybe they have some edicts in there, but that probably can't be too bad. I want to strip them, I think. We're kind of going all in here. going all in on this plan. I don't know if it's the right thing to do, but I feel like I don't know what they could have that can deal with this troll with for only 1 mana. Like, we stripped their land. They could have like some amount of Shield Jets Edicts in their deck, but I don't think they have that many. This line definitely has a downside of like we burned our Barrowglyph, which was like the only other playable card that we have. Other than that, now we just have lands. So if I do have an answer for this, then we're probably screwed. But I do think it's puts them in a tough spot. Yeah, that's not going to do much. I suppose their clock is still the same though, so it's not a big loss for them. But they can't fetch anymore. Unless they have an answer to the troll. I'm guessing if they had the edict, they would have slammed it by now. On turn 2 here. Or I guess, is it turn 3? Yeah, it's turn 3. Architects, so they're going to chump block, I guess. Okay, they're going down to 6, so we have them with Fel the Profane. They didn't know about the Fel the Profane that we drew last turn, so we should have them here. Are they going to try to scam Subtlety, or what's the plan? Yeah, they're going to reanimate Subtlety. Sure. You're still dead, because that's just not how that works. It has to be blocked by 3 or more, so GG. Alright. Alright. Nice. You can see just the amount of power and flexibility that the deck has in terms of crafting different potential broken starts that you can have. Kind of just the theory behind crafting the right one based on the context of what you see from the opponent. All right, next round. I'll play first. No mana, so can't keep this hand. 3 Chrome Mox. This hand is bad. I might mulligan it. Even go down to 5 here. I mean, if I keep 6, I'm putting back a Chrome Mox, but then what am I really doing? Yeah, this is just a bad hand. I gotta mulligan this one. Okay, this is keepable. I have the 1 ring to get us back in the game. We just need to draw a land. Grief is probably not going to be good enough on the draw. And then these are all kind of just interchangeable, like depending on what the opponent has. It kind of just depends on what they're playing, what I want to put back. This is probably like the most well-rounded approach. The thing is, I can't really grief anyways, but if I'm up against a combo deck, I may want to. I guess I'll try this. And we're just gonna pass. Yeah, there's no point in running out of Chrome Mox here. I guess I could get punished if they have like a Thoughtseize or something. But okay. We just need to draw land. Okay, that's good. Alright, next turn we'll try to rush a ring out. Hopefully that can bring us back from the big disadvantage we got from the mulligan. They have a Dark Ritual. They have a One Ring. Okay. Attacking with Deathright? Nice. Getting in for one. Alright, sure. That's what you gotta do sometimes, I suppose. Alright, that is actually kind of nice. Because that allows us to ring plus hold up a ritual. Or I could, like, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so I could ritual, get out Bowmasters, and get out ring. That seems good. Got the Troll Daddy coming in. Oh, they got Bowmasters too? Man. You never play your Bowmasters first. That's always like the biggest mistake. I didn't even... Yeah. I should have done that. I mean, I could have waited, I suppose. But I couldn't have done both in the same turn. Now we're probably screwed. Alright, wait. Nope, there's a chance. Nice. Get our Bowmasters back. They don't have... Oh, they have the Deathrite Shaman. God, that's so brutal. I could try to bait them out with a Bogart Trawler on their graveyard. See if that's... Oh wait, but they don't have black mana. Yep, okay, we got him. Alright, we're just competing for Bowmaster supremacy here. They don't have green mana, is what I mean. They only have black. They don't have green, so they can't exile the Bowmaster in response, so... We retain Bowmaster supremacy, which is very important here. And I will draw some cards. See what we get. Ritual and Mox. Do I want to like pay 2 for this Bogart Trawler, or just use one of these fast mana things to bring it out? Life total is likely to matter here. But so is mana. Alright, so this takes the Bowmasters out of their yard so they can't reanimate. They're gonna burn me for 2 first, which is fine. Alright, so we do have card. We're down on cards and we're down on life. So we do still need some things to go our way to get ahead this game. Grief is not really a problem. Both of our, I mean, our hand sucks, so they can have at it. And they actually burned a real card of Barrowglyph to get our hand, so that's nice. Guess I'll take one. Strip the tome, that's fine. They have shield you, don't they? Yeah, we lose. Good game. I want the surgical to counter reanimate. And other than that, there's not really a lot that we need, like maybe some pushes to take care of Bowmasters and Death Rites. Don't want too many of those though, because we don't have a lot of good ways to trigger the... We don't have a lot of great ways to trigger Revolt on it. You can trim some Thought Seizes, I think. Again, Trawler is just kind of not great. Trim a Mox or trim a Troll. I think Troll's actually fine though. Let's try this. I kind of actually do like the Thought Seizes because they enable some really nutty draws with Reanimate. If I can take their Shield Dread and reanimate it or something like that. Triple Strip Mine and a Troll. I kind of like that actually. It's not, yeah, I mean, it's not a great hand, but it's fine. We'll give it a shot. The Troll makes it playable, I think. I still am trying to figure out the mirror and the best way to tech for it. Best way to sideboard here. Dark Ritual. Barrowglyph. That's fine. It's not a problem. Because we can strip and push so it's fine. Can wait till their turn though. Reanimate. Chrome Ox is so bad sometimes. I should have cut some, trimmed some down to 3. It's just so bad here. So I guess I have to try to flash in a Bowmaster, chump block the Barrogoyf with the token. And then hopefully, I don't know, draw something that I can use next turn. Something useful. Either a black card, maybe get out Shield Dread. Okay. Yep. Oh, they're just drawing reanimates and we're not, and that's kind of how it goes sometimes. We probably gonna lose this game, but I think that the only thing we can really do is play a Shield Dread and just hope they don't have anything to deal with it. Even then, still kind of iffy. They are at 10 lives, so I can take 9, I guess. Okay. I need all my mana to cast it. I would really like to strip them off their swamp to force the Bowmasters, but we don't have that luxury. All right, so strip. We're gonna Bowmaster their Bowmaster. We're gonna try to draw some cards. We may actually have a chance to come back here. It's starting to look a little bit better than I thought. They could have another Bowmaster, so we have to keep that in mind. I don't think I can really play around that, though. So we gotta go for it. Yeah, they have another one. Oh, they have a push. Okay. But I could have stripped their swamp first. That was actually a misplay on my end. So I could put another ring out, but then I'd have to burn my Barrowglyph. Or I could put another Barrowglyph. Or I just put out Barrowglyph and that plays on this board fine. It's a little risky, maybe. Yeah, let's go for the Glyph. We'll play the ring next turn. Hopefully not get thought seized or something here. I think this is a good trade for us. They need more threats. We have the ring out, so we have that advantage. So our life is better. Getting life is better for us than for them right now. Okay, Shield Dread is a problem. Another problem. God, man. That's brutal. Yeah, I think they got us. I probably should have taken them off of that land earlier. Shield Dread is just such a dominating force in the matchup. I just have to, I don't know. Okay, nice. Shield Dread, perfect. That's like the best Polyjaw we could have hit there. Oh no, except I die! Yeah, oh man. Yep. I forgot about the one life from the ring there for a second. Alright, good game, good game. Alright, those are some fun matches. Some closing thoughts. I don't have any changes I would recommend right now. I do think that there's a lot of room to experiment with the deck. There's a Golgari version, obviously, where you can play Wary Zone Guard. I do have that built as well, and I might make that in my next video if there's enough interest. Let me know what you'd like to see in the next video, and please like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And yeah, I recommend the deck. I think it has... I love the flexibility of it, the power, the explosiveness, the resiliency. The deck is strong. I think it can deal with almost anything in the format. And it may not be the most powerful deck, but it definitely is a contender. So, like I said, yeah, I don't have any recommendations right now, but we'll keep in touch. And thank you everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks. Bye.